Well, g'day there traders and friends, market participants and enthusiasts right around the world. Thanks a lot for joining me on this Monday afternoon market recap. Today's date is the 18th of December 2017. A fantastic day's worth of trade. The Nasdaq breaking out above our 6,921 trigger on Friday. It actually hit our target today, just shy of 7,600, 998.30. A really nice trade there on the Nasdaq. Now, what makes this interesting at the markets themselves, as we run up into that target on the Nasdaq, we are a little bit bifurcated as to the intraday signals that are taking place on the industrial average and also the S&P 500. Pay attention to what I'm seeing on my screen right here. Let me just bring up my illustrative tool, and you can see for yourself that Monday's candlestick on the industrial average is that of a shooting star candle. You can see we closed up 140 points, but we still have that upper wick. Now, what's interesting also is that we are getting a volume surge too. So this is an interesting candlestick. It is that of an early reversal candle. So we'll pay attention to this on the industrial average. Now, I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that you are in those diamond contracts or even the SPY contracts. The Nasdaq in and of itself, the Q trade has run its course, but we are starting to see again potentially a little bit of resistance form on these other two markets, or at least these other two counterpart markets, as at the close of Monday. We'll take a little bit of interest as to see how they set up and progress throughout the rest of the week's worth of trade. But as I sit down and bring you this Monday afternoon market recap, you can see for yourself that also Apple has broken above our trigger here at 176.12. We closed at 176.42, so a pretty decent trade, or at least a breakout there. If we bring up also the CCI and the ADX, you can see the CCI, the Commodity Channel Index, is printing above 100. It's printing at 132.30 at the moment. And what is also making this trade really nice is that the ADX has turned up from that resting pivot at 20. We're getting a signal just shy of 25. So this looks like a legitimate breakout on Apple, and something that I'm very excited about, and you should be too if you are in this trade also. Amazon, however, has been a little bit sleepy throughout today's trade. We did close up another $11.81, but we are still below that 1,214 pivot. If I continue with Boeing Airlines, you can see also we closed up another $2.14. We're making our way up to our 299 target. You can see the breakout trade at 267 and also 279. We're holding at 296, so this is a really nice trade. Again, just to update you on stops on this trade, we did have them placed below Friday's low and also Thursday's low last week. Again, I would move this up just to ensure that you lock in the maximum amount of profit. At the moment, it's sitting at 294.26, so another pretty decent trade there. Pardon me, on Boeing Airlines. Now, if I continue with BIDU today up $6.95, breaking above our 238 pivot. So you can see how we came back down. We retested the support level at 229. You can see that we, on Thursday and Friday last week, we have two consecutive hammer candlesticks at support. Today we saw the bounce, and it's pretty decent follow through. Again, up just shy of $7, breaking definitively above that 238.13 pivot. We closed at 240.93. So a pretty decent trade there. Targets on this are all the way up at $250 per share. So a pretty interesting trade also, which is triggered today. It is very profitable, and you can see that when we have a look at our oscillators here, you can see the stochastics is turned up, the RSI is moving back up into overbought territory, and the moving average convergence divergence is starting to flip very much so into very positive territory. You can see the histogram itself accelerating away from the neutral line here, which is looking really good as well. So I'm pretty happy about this BIDU trade which triggered today, and it's something again that should continue to work out very nicely as we continue into the week. Now, moving along into Caterpillar, again closing up $3.08. A really good trade from 140, 143, 145. Again, we're closing just shy of 150 at the moment. A very short-term sort of bull flag which set up. We can see the breakout today as at Monday. You can see my targets as well on this. It's sitting up just shy of 160 per share, 158.39. So we still have another $18, so to speak. Another $8, so to speak, with this particular trade until we see those Fibonacci expansionary levels hit, when we start extrapolating, of course, the different sort of confluences of the wavelength in the past. So again, 158 is that laser focused target. We are essentially trading above all-time highs, so we don't have resistance areas to actually run up into. But that 158.39 print is still looking very, very good. COP again closing up mildly up 17 cents. We're still making our way up to 54.05. This is still very profitable. Above that 51.23 pivot, which is really good. CVX again is flirting with the breakout. 120.97 is something that we got triggered into. Dating back to the beginning of December, we are still holding above this support, which was once resistance. So I'm still liking this trade. We still are seeing volume expansion, especially on Friday last week. But again, this is all looking quite healthy. We're still holding above those exponential moving averages. And even though today we did see that of a shooting star candlestick, if we do get a definitive move above 121.60, you should see this really starts to begin moving parabolically to the upside as well. So pay attention to CVX as we continue into the week or the last full week of trading for December 2017. Google today broke above 1,081. This is a trade that we did have to endure a little bit of pain, so to speak, once we broke above that 166 pivot. We came back down and we held support. We closed that open window. So that has all run its course. Now we're seeing a very nice continuation in the direction of the macro trend to the upside. So Google again breaking out definitively. If I change to the ADX, you can see again turning up from that neutral line, that resting point. And the CCI, the commodity channel index, now printing just shy of 140. So again, a really nice trend continuation, working out quite well on Google as well. Goldman Sachs last week surprised me a little bit. 256 again, the breakout trigger. We broke above that. Today we're closing up just above $260 per share. We floated above 261.40. We were left with a little bit of a doji candle as at the close on Monday, but again, the momentum is still very clearly to the upside. So a pretty decent trade working out there on Goldman Sachs. IBM is still really not doing all that much. Expect a little bit of volatility, a little bit of market noise to continue with IBM. At the moment, it's not really a trade that is on our radar. The same is true for Netflix. You can see for yourself backtesting that 190 pivot. Not really doing a whole lot today, up 42 cents, but still quite a distance away from our breakout trigger and also breakdown trigger, as you can see on my screen just here. It's really not giving us all that much opportunity at the moment. Now, what's interesting also is that Tesla has come back up. It's retested that 340 pivot. We've not only seen that of a shooting star candle on Thursday last week and also a hangman on Friday. Today we saw an engulfing candlestick as at Monday. So we closed down $4.25 right at that X spot, so to speak. And again, this is really signaling to me that it wants to roll over and it's going to be a really good short as we enter into 2018. The trade isn't there yet. You can see my entry here, 321.43, but it's not ready yet. It is going to take another couple of weeks until we really see potentially what is a major macro reversal taking place with the share price of Tesla moving forward. Now, if I continue also into Facebook, I just need to bring up the right ticker symbol first. You can see also that we're moving back up to that 182.95 pivot. We're not there yet. We're printing at 180.82. So we are very close. We're almost within $2 of this breakout pivot, but this is looking really nice as well. It's a little bit less sort of defined than that of Google, which has broken out, and also Apple today, which is broken out above its resistance swing high. This is all in the back, of course, from the Nasdaq triggering late last week on Friday. But I'm expecting over the coming days, if not weeks, that Facebook is going to be one of those stocks which plays catch up, and it is eventually going to break out above 182, if not 184. So a lot happening in the world of the US financial markets. A pretty decent way to begin the week. Again, the Nasdaq hitting our target just shy of 7,000, which is fantastic. We are starting to see again bifurcated signals with the industrial average and the S&P 500 setting off a bunch of shooting star candlesticks. But at the moment, I really wouldn't sort of read all too much into that early reversal signal. If we start to see, however, engulfing candlesticks or a consecutive series of shooting stars or doji candlesticks or even potentially hangmans at resistance, those types of signals moving forward, one black crows, then I will keep you updated. But at the moment, just expect momentum to continue taking us higher. Now, one final piece of advice before I finish today's Monday afternoon market recap is that we do have a bunch of gaps. Gaps don't have to fill, however, they generally do. So as you can see on the industrial average, we have a gap between the intraday high on Friday and where we opened at as at Monday. So this will often close and then we should see the trend continuation above. This is the same for the S&P 500. We have a gap between the intraday high on Friday and where we opened on Monday. But most importantly, most pertinently at the moment, is that of the Nasdaq. Again, we closed up just shy of 60 points, but we have a really big defined gap between that of Friday and Monday. This would generally close. So you could see a little bit of bearish activity, but that's only going to take us down to about 6,950. Once we hit this level, you should see the Nasdaq stabilize and then continue its movement above the most recent swing high, which was the intraday high, as at Monday's day's worth of trade today. So on that note, everyone, if you have any questions, please email me. If not, I'll see you later in the week for some more market update. Till the best, everyone. It's James signing off on behalf of Pivot Point Trading. Goodbye.